Okay, so we're going to make this DS Irae sort of film soundtrack, the Day of Wrath soundtrack for us all. So if you go to GarageBand and you click the plus button at the very top of the screen, and then it takes you to this page, and we're going to go for keyboard each time. So you need to click on keyboard there, and we're going to get it all set up first. So the first thing that you'll want to see, and we're going to create the motif, that DS Irae motif, and we're going to use string staccato as ever. We've used a lot this year. That's fine. If you just click on those lines at the top left, so it gets you to this screen here, press the plus button at the left hand side of the screen. We're also gonna need some bass, so I'm gonna go to FX, and I'm gonna use hacksaw bass, but you don't have to use this one, but it's just an example. And then go back to the screen. We'll just get this all set up, so we've got it here ready to go. Keyboard, and then we're gonna use synth pad. I'm going to go for ethereal rhythm, and then the final one that I'm going to use, if I go back to the screen, it's going to be from melody, which is going to be I'm going to just use brass ensemble for now, but you can choose whatever melody sound that you like. So the first thing that we're going to do is look at the DS Irae motif. So I'm going to click on string staccato. I'm going to go to that keyboard on the left hand side, and I'm going to play it out to you. So you should hear it like this. So it's F, D, E, C, and that's it. That's the only four notes we're going to use. Now obviously it's quite long, isn't it, the actual motif from the Gregorian chant, but that's all we're going to use. And you're going to do it in crotchet, so record in crotchet. So literally, if I press play now, it's quite fast. I'm going to take the tempo down by pressing on the settings. I take tempo down to about maybe 90. That's a bit better. So literally crotchet. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you're going to do. When you're ready to record that, and you're going to play around with that, you need to go right back to the start of the project with your cursor at 1.1. Press the record button. That's it. Okay, very simple. Now we're going to change that up a little bit to make it more interesting. But go back to the main screen, double click on the string staccato, press settings on that green kind of region, press quantization, then a quarter note. So you've got to quantize it to a quarter, you'll see it just snaps a little bit into place. So it needs to be sounding like this. You can obviously edit it if you want to. I'll let you do that as you wish. Press double click and press loop, and to go up to about 4 bars. We're going to change it now, so you should hopefully have that, and your teacher will pause the clip if you need to. So we're going to look at how we can develop that a little bit. So this is how we're going to develop it. We're going to now do it in quavers rather than crotchets, so it's going to be half the speed. To just increase the tension a little bit of our Day of Wrath soundtrack. So I'm still got it on 90. I'm just going to practice. So this is how it sounds. That's how it will sound. A bit faster, but not too fast, okay? You want basically 2 notes for every click that you hear on the metronome. The metronome must be on, which is this triangle at the top here. I'm ready to record, so I'm just going to play that in. It's the same sequence, but just a bit faster. And I'm only doing it for 1 bar, remember, and then I'm going to loop it. So you'll basically do it twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Sorry, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and stop. So then you've got that there. And if you're going to quantize it now, but this time because we've done quavers, we're going to quantize it to an 8th note. And you'll see it will snap into place now. There you go. That's really nice. Double click on that, and I'm going to press loop. This is how it will sound. Just up the speed a bit so you can hear it sounds like a better speed. So on and so forth. Put the metronome back on. Now we're going to do our bass line. Now our bass line is going to stay the same the whole way through. This is a pedal note, and if you've done the underscore lesson already with your teacher, you'll know that a pedal note is a long held bass note at the very, very bottom. It doesn't change at all. It might be repeating, it might be long and held. We're going to do a long held note. So we're going to go to this little sign here on the right hand side. You'll see me just press that button one more time. It almost looks like a little telephone box. And you'll need to make sure you've got D minor. Okay, now if you don't have that, if you go to the top right hand side, if you press the settings and press edit chords, and just make sure you've got D minor somewhere. So I can see I've got D minor here, and that's what we want, because remember we're using D minor, D Dorian mode, as the clip showed you before. So, and all we're going to do is going to play basically long held note for eight counts, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I do it right to the very end. So watch me and how I do it. And again. And again. One last time. And that's it. Now you could actually break it up and copy and paste it. That probably wasn't the best thing to do. But if you're going to do like me, you've got 4 long notes there. It should basically a D that should last 2 bars. Settings, double click again, and we're going to quantize it at quarter notes. Just a little snap there. Should be basically in time with the track, as you can see. Okay, so on and so forth. Then we're going to do our chords. Now we're going to change the chords a little bit. So if you click on the ethereal rhythm and you go to settings, go back to the pillar box or the telephone box, go to settings and edit chords. We're going to need D minor. We're going to use an interesting chord here. If you go to C sharp diminished, we know diminished chords, if you've done the underscore lesson, they're very spooky sounding chords. We're going to use A major, which is slightly outside of the D Dorian mode, and that's what we're going to need. So we're going to use 4 chords. And we're going to go for 2 bars D minor, for 2 bars C sharp diminished, for 2 bars A major, and then for the last 2 bars D minor. Very Stranger Things, I think, but hope you enjoyed listening to this. Now remember, you can take the tempo down a little bit again if you want to, but this is fairly simple. So literally 2 bars of D minor, 2 bars of C sharp diminished, 2 bars of A major, and then 2 bars of D minor to finish. Here we go. Pressing record, 1.1. The A major now. Now you can choose how you want to do that, but that basically is it. It should mirror the bass line you've got there. Remember settings, quantization, and it should be a quarter note again. That's it in a nutshell. We've got our underscore basically. We've got the DS0 motif. Now we're going to go and have a bit of fun now, creative fun, by creating a little melody over the top, and it can be any kind of melody, using the D Dorian mode. Okay, you can add some C sharps in as well, just to kind of confuse things, but that can make it sound a bit quite minory too, but because we've used some interesting chords there. So I'm just going to give it a whirl. I'm going to go using A, F, and D, which is the D minor chord, and I might use E as well. I'm just going to improvise over the top, a little melody. I actually used a few more there, didn't I? I used G. But you'll notice I used some different kind of leaps as well to create a bit of a different kind of melody. I'm going to quantize this to a quarter note, sorry, an eighth note, so that it sounds a bit more in time. I think it will do. That looks pretty good. Just going to just increase it slightly and just take some of these down so you can hear it a bit more. And there you have it. There is a Day of Wrath, very horror sounding film clip or sound film clip for you to experiment with. So follow the instructions. The most important part is to get the first 3 parts done, and if you've done that, then have a little go at creating your own melody using the D drawing mode.